You want to make more money with your personal brand. You may be successful in a few areas, but you feel like there's something, an invisible barrier that's holding you back from really reaching those six-figure or multiple six-figure annual incomes. You're posting the content, you're running the ads, you're posting YouTube, you're doing whatever it takes to try to get clients. But the honest truth is, from helping over 50 online coaches and creators scale their coaching businesses, I've realized the most important thing isn't the strategy. It's not the tactics or the hacks that you have to use in order to get clients. What really is the most important thing in your business is shifting beliefs and standing out in the marketplace. I get coaches following me every single day, and they look almost exactly the same. They have the same offers, the same positioning, and it's not creating any uniqueness or resonance with your brand. The most successful brands I see out there have a unique story. They have a unique offer, unique words and phrases that they use. And they ultimately create belief shifts that allows them to stand out and for them to create an upper hand within their niche and ultimately be the authority that can close high ticket sales on autopilot. And in this video, I basically took my 4-episode mini-series and bunch it up into one video so you can just binge it and get the most amount of insight so you guys can watch every single episode, and it's going to go over positioning and message and how you can get, the best bang for your buck and ultimately get high ticket clients that way. It's going to go over your vision and create a business that really fuels your freedom and not just for the sake of running a business and creating a second 9-to-5 for yourself. It's going to go over ads and strategy, and it's going to go over belief shifts and how to create a message that is contrarian from everyone else out there and makes you stand out. Now, I really recommend you guys to just go on a walk, listen to this, take notes, because this has been literally my life's work for 2 years. Like, for 2 years straight, I've been going through the whole online education space, investing tens of thousands of dollars in mentorships, and this is everything compacted into one training video for you guys to take the most amount of value out of. So please take this serious. If there's any questions, just pop them in the description of this video. And without further ado, enjoy. Peace. Your personal brand will not survive AI and the year 2027 if you don't shift beliefs and create a unique identity for your audience to strive towards. Welcome to episode 1 of Creator TV, where we're going to go deep into why your personal brand is suffering and how to escape the AI race and not just be replaced by a bot in a few years. Okay, so feel free to tune in. This is a 4-episode series. Make sure to watch the whole thing to the end because it's going to get better with every single episode. Okay, guys? So without further ado, let me just jump into my screen and share it for you guys. So, be human, shift beliefs, escape AI, and build freedom. You probably know that every single creator out there is trying to post content, try to build their personal brand, and try to make money online, right? Online coaches, online consulting. And the biggest problem is everyone is copying each other. Everyone's doing the same thing and they're not standing out and not really building their quote unquote personal brand. And this is a huge problem because AI will replace you at some point. AI generated content will be more interesting and stand out more than you are currently. And that's going to cause a huge problem with the smaller personal brands out there, because the creator economy could approach $500 billion by 2027. But the thing that no one really understands is who is going to have all that market share. Is it going to be divided between all the creators, or are there going to be a few top tier creators that have all of it and everyone else is struggling? Which is what's really going to happen. And if you don't want to be in that boat, you're going to have to change something so you shift beliefs, stand out, and ultimately can be a personal brand that can't just be replaced by AI. Because funnily enough, also by 2027, AI will also have developed itself into millions of ASIs, which is artificial superintelligence, replacing tons of jobs and outperforming humans. And this is beyond our comprehension, right? We don't really understand how insane this is going to be, because a few years ago, we couldn't believe ChatGPT was going to be a thing. And look at it now. It's in everyone's workday. It's in everyone's workflow. So in 2027, you can't even imagine how powerful these tools are going to be. And you don't want to be the person that's just going to be replaced by them and work a bad job that you don't want to work, right? You want to use this to create freedom and create yourself a tool, but you still want to stand out and not be replaced by them. So what this means is standing out as a human is more important than ever before. Information and value isn't enough, right? If you just give information and value, that's what ChatGPT can do. You have to have a unique identity that people want to work towards. You have to give your unique story. You have to give a unique perspective that ChatGPT can't even give to people. If you give ChatGPT a question, it's going to pop out an answer. You want to You want your brand for them to ask you a question, and then you ask them a question back that shifts their perspectives and like, oh, I didn't think of that before. That's what your brand should be, because shifting beliefs is based on our unique human experiences. And that's the only thing that's going to separate us from AI generated content and ultimately build genuine connections online at scale. And over this 4-episode TV series, we'll dive into what really it takes to build this unique brand that's a freedom first led online coaching business and personal brand, and how you're going to compete with all the noise and all the saturation out there. Okay, because I've been through it all. I have coached so many different creators from so many different niches, dozens of them, whether that's dating, health, wealth, spirit, all of those different niches, right? And I can go through some of them. Jay, helping people quit their 9-to-5s, fitness coach, helping people improve their stories, tennis coach, helping men overcome their balding. This is a high rocks coach, tennis coach. She's helping parents with the digital age. Imtiaz is helping people with self-improvement. Tamika helping women build skills to be leaders. Yip helping creators become more authentic with their branding, and so many other examples here, guys. Sam, he's a 2017 natural bodybuilding champion. So many cool people in here, and I've literally done it all. I've helped all sorts of different niches, and I know what works. And the biggest thing is shifting beliefs and being unique with the way you're presenting yourself. And all of my clients currently are doing 7 figures in annual recurring revenue, and it's amazing. Anywhere from doing 10K days to going from 0 to 8K with a brand new coaching business in 3 weeks. It's just amazing. I've got a lot more YouTube videos going over my different client results and stuff like that, just so you know that I'm not a weirdo that doesn't know what he's talking about, okay? Because chances are you're like me. You don't want to live a traditional life. You don't want to work a 9-to-5. You don't want to build an 80-hour work week prison called a business. You want to be confined. You don't want to be confined creatively. And you don't want to be stuck in one location and constantly look at finances. You don't want to chase new clients and revenue every month. You want to live an extraordinary life. Work when you want to, build your own reality by building a schedule that fulfills you, and be extremely creative with your work. And this allows you to be abundant financially and work from anywhere, right? And ultimately, you want to attract perfect fit clients every single month through a very simple system where people adopt your beliefs and like, hell yeah, I want to work with you. And this is my journey. My name's Jay. I went from studying and being interested in growing my own fashion brand to doing what I do now. And I'll show you the journey, because this might be relatable to some of you guys that are going through something similar. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to create t-shirts and do all of that, sell stuff like that. But I realized I didn't have a personal brand behind my clothing brand, and that didn't allow me to succeed. But I went on to study fashion design. I created my own clothing, did my own photo shoots, and I did that for a little bit. And on the side, I was also doing graphic design. I created a page where I sold commissions for graphic design. And that was my first online money, where I was like, oh my God, I made money online by just posting on Instagram and selling my commissions on graphic design. I still didn't have a personal brand. I was just posting graphics, but it worked. And I made like $50 here, $100 here. I also sold beats and music at the time. Got millions of streams and made money through that, but I still didn't get that true freedom that I wanted from building myself. I also worked at a COVID center at the time, which absolutely sucked. I hated that job. And I wanted to get out of it. And eventually in 2023, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drop out of university. The people that I'm learning from don't have the skills that are in the modern market. They're falling behind. I don't want to be left behind. I want to be ahead of the curve. I want to take advantage of personal branding, social media, and AI, and I want to just pursue this. So in 2023, I dropped out and I started building my personal brand, and also collaborated with my friend Seb here to build my agency at the time, which we scaled to 10K a month, and then also going on to build our consulting program, Reality Creator, which is freaking amazing. We traveled the world. We did amazing stuff at that time, going to Cyprus, going to Palermo, going to all sorts of different places. Where do we go recently? Oh yeah, recently we went to Croatia, we went to Split, I almost forgot. And yeah, it's just been amazing. We went to like 5 different countries, and it's been awesome. And we built Reality Creator, which is our flagship program on how to shift beliefs, because after working with so many people, that was the most important thing, is how to shift beliefs and stand out. And what we've noticed over the many big creators out there is they all shift beliefs. Alex Hormozi is more focused on skills and effort and grinding over just like passive income. Hamza, he's helping people become more stoic and disciplined over just simple dopamine and pleasure-seeking activities. William Brown, he's very simple business, not very much complex. Imai Gadji, he's entrepreneurship over school and 9 to 5. Dan Koh is over inner clarity versus external grind. Gregor Gallagher, he's over lifestyle fitness versus hardcore bodybuilding. And all of these people were able to attract their cult-like audiences by changing that and by shifting beliefs. And on this episode, we're going to dive into the first step of the reality matrix. And the reality matrix is my unique mechanism that I help my clients implement. And the first step that we always work on is building our dream client and really getting clear on that. On the next episode, we'll go over vision assets, which is super crucial on how to build your brand. This is going to be how to shift beliefs on the third episode. And the final episode, we're going to go over the awesome strategy that's going to tie all of this together to actually make this work and actually attract clients. Okay. So the first thing is we need to build our one niche. Our one niche is basically what makes you, you. Okay, that's the unique thing that is going to allow you to build your brand, okay? And you are comprised of different components, right? It's you, so your story, your values, your hobbies, your personality, your goals. You teach your mechanism, which is your systems, processes, frameworks, or roadmap to get your clients results. Your mechanism is going to provide the outcome, which is your goals, desires, philosophy, vision, or dream that your clients want to achieve, the identity they want to latch onto, which is extremely important, okay? So, story. This is super important. Before, where were you stuck? Your pain points, your struggles, your stuck patterns, right? The turning point, the event, the realization, or action that set you on a new path. For example, for me, I always thought, virality with content was important. I got a video with 1.5 million views. It got me like 9,000 followers. I didn't get any clients. I realized creating super niched, belief shifting content towards my ICP that doesn't have to get a lot of views gets me better results. For you, that might be something different, right? Whether you're in the fitness or dating market, whatever, that is what you need to think about. And then obviously the results, changes, and benefits you now enjoy. Now I know how to run a simple system that shows belief shifting content to my ideal dream client to get them as clients and get on my page, okay? And this is known as the hero's journey, right? You get to call an adventure, you go through this period of growth, and then you have challenges, and then you have a really low point, and then you go through a rebirth, a transformation, and a return, and that's how the cycle continues. You go through journeys and you overcome problems, okay? The next part, mechanism, right? Systems, processes, roadmap. Define the problem your audience faces. What is the core problem that they face, and how can your coaching program solve this? Describe a short paragraph describing the frustration your ideal customer is experiencing and how current solutions are failing them. Talking about how old methods haven't worked for your audience, etc. Okay? And step 2, you want to identify common gaps in their solutions. In the other market solutions, right? List the typical solutions that people might latch on towards to solve their problem and how you can make your mechanism better, right? Analyze what's missing, incomplete, or ineffective about them and create a comparison chart showing the gaps and how yours is better, okay? And this is what I call the old versus new way. It's extremely powerful, okay? Number 3 is identify what actually makes your solution work, right? Break down the internal mechanics of this, okay? And I'm not going to kind of list everything here, but the action step is you want to test your mechanism. Really see if it works. Really see if it's understandable and get some feedback, okay? Make a visual. Make it look cool, right? Give it a visual so people can immediately identify in a very simple way how your mechanism works and how it can solve their problem, okay? Okay, so let's get into the third one. Goals, right? What is the practical things that they want to achieve? What is the desires, the emotional outcomes? What is the philosophy, the guiding principles? What is the vision, the future-oriented direction they want to go towards? And what is the ultimate aspiration they want to achieve, right? Goals is tangible achievements. Desires is emotional fulfillment. Philosophy is integrity in the method. Vision is the long-term direction. And dream is the ultimate life aspiration. And overall, what does this mean? This is an identity, right? I'm not going to write this down, but this is the identity, the ID, okay? So let's get into this final little section on the side here. So when you want to be specific and concrete with the person you're trying to kind of latch onto with your story and the way that you do things, right? And if you want to get some more insights on how to do this, if you DM me the word on Instagram, PFDC, I will send you an exact document on how to detail your perfect fit dream client document that's going to allow you to have a better understanding of who you're targeting, right? And extract the core problem you solved in your story, right? Look at the before and after phases and list out the problems: lack of confidence, poor health habits, etc. Ask, if I could give my past self one thing, what would it be? Here you want to identify the emotional stakes and the belief shifts that you had to go through in order to develop your solution and how you transformed, right? Describe your past self in detail, circumstances, pinpoint your perfect fit dream client's desired outcome. Super important. Identify the obstacles holding them back, right? Think about it. They are probably trying to solve their problem right now. What is the things that is holding them back? Okay? And once you did all of that, map out exactly the journey you're going to guide them through. This is going to help you obviously with your mechanism, exactly the way you help people. And then you want to validate your perfect fit dream client. Talk to people, right? Hop on calls with people, have conversations with people, and see if your message and your mechanism aligns with people and how they're going to solve their problems. And once you start running reality shifting ads, which we'll get into later in this series, you'll start conversations and be able to validate it quicker and more efficiently, okay? Like I said, DM me the word PFDC on Instagram and I'll send you over this doc. It's a very simple document that will give you an insight on what things you need to do in order to get clear on this, okay? And once you have all of this, once you have your story, the mechanism, the outcome super clear laid out for you, then you can create this. Give your dream client a name, right? What is the name? Is it John? Is it Carrie? Be super specific and feed the information that you're getting from your dream client to GPTs in order to further discover more and more about your core audience. And once you do that, produce an I help statement. It's a very simple statement where you say, I help XYZ person overcome this problem without this, right? With my unique mechanism. Because I used to struggle with this before, right? You can pause this video and take this section as an example of how to create this. This should be super simple and super easy to understand. You should be able to explain this to your grandma and she knows exactly what you mean, okay? So the main gist of this video, guys, if I had to summarize it, is don't dilute your magic by trying to serve everyone. Solve your past self. Talk to the people that you can actually serve, that relate to your story. Instead, serve your tight-knit pool of perfect fit dream clients. That's the goal, right? Looking at the world, and instead of targeting the whole world, just speak to a few little groups around the world that resonate with the problems that you can solve. And that's going to be ultra powerful. Okay, guys? So now we got our dream client sorted. Like I said, guys, this is obviously a quick training, but it could take time for you to get this locked in, right? You might have to revisit this and always work on this to make sure it's super locked in and validated. In the next episode, we're going to go over the one vision, so the method to make sure your goals are clear, unique mechanisms, how that ties into your brand, your branding colors, your fonts and style that's going to allow you to stand out. Okay? Super important. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If you have any questions, write it in the description. If you want to join me in my consulting program and kind of skip the whole series, feel free to do that as well. Just DM me on Instagram with the word join. And yeah, guys, I'm super, super excited for you. I hope this, guys, gave you some value. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace. If you're an online coach or creator and you at least have one case study, you should stop refreshing your inbox like it owes you money and do this instead. Most of us have an awesome fulfillment, have an amazing product. They're running ads, they're doing all the things, they're sending DMs, but they're still not getting the life that they want. They're still not getting the income that they want. And after doing a lot of different research on many different niches across many different personal brands, I've come up with the best system to make sure that you stand out in the market and that you ultimately get towards your goals. This is episode 2 of Creator TV. If you haven't watched the first episode, go to the previous video on my channel. But without further ado, let's just get into episode 2 of Creator TV. So the main thing is you need a vision. You need a vision in order to gain yourself more clarity. Because you wake up with no sales, no leads, no direction, and you consume more content than you actually produce in order to motivate yourself further, and that is causing you to feel stuck. okay? Let me just grab my trusty pen here. And you only end up in a very short-term kind of mindset that never actually allows you to build leverage and ultimately scale. And this is what is causing you to feel like, it's the product, it's the delivery, it's the offer that's the problem, and you constantly change things, which ultimately always makes it harder for you to reach your goals. If you look at all the young millionaires online, you always compare yourself with them. You're always like, oh my God, I'm not making all this money, right? And let me get into the secret that has got me more clarity to grow my personal brand, to make more money online, and ultimately scale my online coaching business, okay? Because I was in a very vicious cycle, right? I was always trying different strategies, and I always thought there was some sort of secret, right? And of course, there's different components of a business. There's traffic, conversion, nurture, sales, etc. But now you need the glue. What is the thing that's holding everything together that is actually going to build your business in the right way? I call this building your vision assets, which consist of many different components that we're going to cover today, okay? The first thing is the one vision. The second thing is your unique mechanisms. And the third thing is your branding, your colors, your fonts, and your style of your business, or the style of the aesthetic of your business that is going to allow you to stand out from your other competitors, which is extremely important. And when you combine all of this, your audience just doesn't see you as another option within the market, but they see you as the only one, and they actually, quote unquote, get your brand. They understand what you stand for. Okay, so in the previous episode, we went over crafting your dream client. So how to get super clear on who you're talking towards and which person your message is dedicated towards. And obviously this is over. If you're new here, hi, my name's Jay. This is kind of the reality matrix that we came up with that is the best system in the market to not only have a strategy to grow your online consulting business, but also stand out in the market and allow yourself to build a long-term brand. So the first thing we've covered is the dream client. Now we're going to cover your vision assets, which is all about the things I mentioned, right? Standing out. Of course, next we're going to go into reality shifts, how to have a really different message that is really good for ad creatives, etc. And then how the strategy and how everything kind of fixes itself together in one core strategy, okay? So the first thing is you need to build a vision. And a lot of people have heard of like, oh, I've got this journal where I write down my goals, etc. Most people don't understand that, sure, having a little document where you just write down your goals in every day is awesome, but most people don't understand how much dedication, how much clarity you need around this, so you ultimately take the right actions on a daily basis. Now, right in front of me here, I've got my 10-minute vision, and I've got my one vision, which I just showed you. This is where I write down my goals every single day to become even more clear on them, because according to this according to this guy, Dr. Gail Matthews, he found that people that wrote down their goals as well as visualized them achieved their goals 42% likely. So that's why not only do we have all of our goals visualized here in this document, but we also have them written down so we can get even more clarity around what we want to achieve. So that's really, really awesome. So that's the first thing. We want to build our one vision. And the one vision, which is this document here, it consists of 4 core pillars that is going to give you clarity on your life. The first thing is relationships. This is just an example of like a mood board that you put together for your one vision. And this is how it should look like, right? What is it you want your relationships to look like? You want them to be exciting. You want them to be fresh. You want them to be motivating you, supporting you. How do you want your wealth to look like? I love Aston Martin, so I put Aston Martin in there. How do you want your love life to look like? Your vacations to look like, your house, etc. So that's wealth. Spirit, how do you want your mental to look like? Maybe you're religious, you put something religious here. You put your family, you put your spouse, and that's your spirit. The third thing is your health. How do you want your health to look like? And you might be watching this and like, oh, Jay, like I've seen this a million times. Like, sure, I need to have like goals and stuff. It's like, no. These are the things, depending on what you put in here, this is going to be things that is going to make your brand stand out and ultimately make more money. So this is lever moving, money driven, money needle activities, okay? So you're going to put your goals here, okay? And if you DM me the word vision, by the way, on Instagram, if you go, my Instagram's in the description, I'll send you my full template completely for free on this. And this is where you're going to insert your audio. There's also like a full tutorial on this. This is where you're going to insert your audio on exactly how, basically it's talking about you already achieving your goals in third person. So Jay Hyatt has reached billionaire status, whatever, right? Whatever your goals are, there's a specific audio you put in there. The training will talk about it. You're going to have a habit tracker. a link to your One Vision PDF, which is this document. If we just go back, this document here, it's also going to be in a PDF version on this Notion template. And then you're going to have your 4 pillars and then the goals that you have for each of them. And then your North Star, okay? The second one, and that's, by the way, that's your One Vision. So make sure to DM me this, guys. Like, it doesn't hurt anything. It's completely free. It's going to help you guys out. The second thing is creating your unique mechanisms. Now, a lot of people are like, why the hell do I need a unique mechanism? Number one, it makes you stand out in the market. If you're got a specific offer for your coaching business and maybe it's a bit saturated, maybe it's dating, maybe it's like business coaching, maybe it's fitness coaching. Like, there's a lot of people doing that. So you want to make something that's different, that's unique, that people recognize you for, and that you can ultimately sell high ticket and differentiate yourself from the other competitors, okay? And this is more important than you actually believe, okay? So that's why it's so important, okay? Purpose. A unique mechanism sets your offer apart from your competitors by having a distinctive method or process or system that improves marketing, sales, and product, okay? So I'm not going to go through everything step by step, but you're going to define the problem, right? In the previous episode, I actually go a little in depth into the mechanisms. So you're going to leverage all of these different points to come up with your own unique mechanism that is going to be standing for your brand. And this is what you're going to leverage in your vision assets, which is the second part of the whole creator matrix system, to stand out in the market, okay? So examples of how these mechanisms could look like, before I get into that, here's a little checklist. Screenshot this, make sure this aligns with your unique mechanism so you can nail it. Examples of unique mechanisms, this is how they could look like. They could be in a pyramid form, in a cycle form, in a list form, however you guys want to visualize this, do it that makes it unique for your brand, okay? If you're not a genius at graphic design, hire someone off Fiverr for $10, $20 to make a little system for you, okay? Someone that has a good taste, okay? The third part is creating a brand identity. Now, again, when there's so many creators entering the market, you need to be able to stand out. So do you have specific logos in your brand? Do you have specific colors? Use AI websites to create color schemes. I might put it in the description of what websites I use. Perhaps if I don't forget, I'll probably forget. And use AI websites to create color schemes. If you don't have a distinct color scheme in your brand, then you're kind of lost. Example is I've got black, white, and this gold color. And you'll notice that throughout my whole brand. Another very simple thing, guys. Create a serif and sans font. So I've got this serif font, which is this curved font where the S has kind of like a curve like that, right? And then you've got the sans font, which is just very simple. And these fonts, brand colors, unique mechanisms, your vision is going to be super important to stand out in the marketplace, okay? Now this episode is quite fast, quite quick, but it also has a lot of depth because you guys have a lot of homework to do. You guys have to download this, you have to set this up, you have to create your unique mechanisms, you have to create your color scheme, you have to create your fonts, which is a lot of information and a lot of homework that you guys have to set up to be ready for the next episode, okay? If you haven't seen the previous episode, do that. If you have any questions or want to join Reality Creator, which is my consulting program where I help you in so much more detail implement all of this, just DM me the word join on Instagram. And other than that, guys, have a sick day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace. Okay, dude, so you suck at converting clients despite you having a decent following, and it's because you're always trying to make your product better, but not different. And that's what exactly we're going to dive into in episode 3 of Reality TV. That was awesome. Okay, let's jump right into things. So feel free to take notes, guys. If this is the first time seeing me, then go back 2 videos on my channel to go to episode 1. But without further ado, this is going to be epic. Okay, so does this sound relatable in any way, right? You've got your brand in check, you've got your strategy in place, you're posting content, but when it comes to, making an offer, doing a call to action, it's just crickets. No one wants to work with you, which is frustrating because your product is better than everyone else's, and you're so focused on making it better all the time, but you're confused because no one is actually buying it. And because you're ambitious, you keep on persisting, but your fire and motivation is slowly fading, right? Maybe you even tried investing in mentors and stuff like that in the past, And they always tell you, you just need a better strategy. You just need a better strategy. Well, you don't need a better strategy. And I'll tell you why if you watch this video to the end. At this point, you put in hours and you want to scale, but you keep on hitting this wall. Now it's time to shift beliefs, right? It's to come up with your own unique angle on why clients should work with you and nobody else. Okay, in this video, we're going to dive into how shifting beliefs is the only thing you should focus on if you want to scale, right? Now, let me just kind of emphasize this. You could have an amazing offer, you can have an amazing physique, whatever kind of product you're selling, but if you're not shifting beliefs, if you're not standing out and cutting through the noise, you're just going to seem like everyone else, and then you're going to be competing on price and not value. Okay, so that's why it's extremely important, because the truth is, people don't just buy what you do. They buy why you do it and how you make them feel in the process. You don't just need to post more, but you need to connect deeper. Now that is a critical thing, right? When your message hits the right emotional chord, your audience should stop scrolling and they should listen, right? This is what I tell people all the time, like, just posting more isn't going to solve the problem. It's actually having a unique way, a unique message, a unique mechanism that ties this all together. And if you go to the previous episode, you'll learn how to do that. They trust, and when they trust, they buy, okay? So instead of just trying to be louder than everyone else, focus on being clearer than everyone else, right? You don't have to just constantly spread the same message over and over again. You have to have a new message that no one has really heard before, right? And what I'm telling you here, guys, is let's just say Apple as an example. They sell the same goddamn phone every single year, but there's always hype around it. There's always this new look, this new thing, and people just buy the product. It's because they reinvent themselves, right? And I'm not saying you need to reinvent yourself every year, but you need to have something different that, let's be honest, guys, like the iPhone's a great product, but there's also a lot of other phones out there that are also great, but people see this as superior because the way that they shift beliefs, because the way that they present it, okay? Your story, your values, your unique lens is what turns followers into clients and content into conversions, okay? So let's just think of the Matrix, right? You've been doing what everyone else does. You've been following the rules, you've been taking like the advice from everyone, you're following the strategies that people tell you, but now just fuck it, you know? Now it's time to take the red pill and see things differently. Everything transformed for me once I came up with my own wording, once I came up with my own mechanisms of shifting beliefs, of including reality shifts in your brand, right? Because once you shift your perspective, you'll never see things the same way again, and then your message becomes magnetic, right? So in other words, be this guy. Pick the red pill, okay? So if you are following along, in this 4-episode series, we covered the dream client, right? We covered the vision assets, right? How to stand out and have a strong vision. Now we're going to get into a critical part before we get into the strategy, which is how to shift beliefs, right? I call this reality shifts, building your contrarian beliefs, which is the old versus new way, okay? And this is truly where the magic happens, okay? Because we'll create a contrarian position, which is an old versus new way of how you will do things, right? And the first thing is we need to choose what belief to change, right? You might be in the health niche, you might be in the relationship niche, you might be in the wealth niche, whatever it is, there's certain beliefs that people have that you need to shift for people to work with you, okay? So you need to pinpoint the default belief, right? Let's say the default belief is, if I want to lose weight, I need to track my calories and eat less. Let's say that's the default belief. Quantify its cost, right? It's causing a lot of pain. Define the new belief plus the mechanism behind it, right? I will show you how you can eat exactly the same amount of food and feel full every single day, but still hit your weight loss goals. I call it the anti-calorie system, whatever you want to call it, right? Right, the core claim, people think X, which causes Y, but the truth is Z because of M, which is mechanism. Like, this is a pretty sick formula that you guys can steal from me because I'm a genius and this will solve your problems, right? So anchor in mechanisms, not opinions, explain the cause, effect like anyone else, right? I'll give you an example, guys. I was on an onboarding call with one of the new clients in Reality Creator, and he was basically saying, oh, but my system is pretty similar to this other system that's already on the market. I'm like, yeah, innovate on it, improve it, recreate it, see if you can see its flaws and make a new way of doing things, right? And that's always how you need to think, guys. As entrepreneurs, you are inventors, you're innovators, and you have to do the same with your coaching offer. Add obviously guardrails limits and context, right? You can have a bold claim, but you have to like back things up. For example, if you just implement reality shifts into your business, but you're not DMing leads, if you're not having conversations, if you're not like hopping on calls, like you're still not going to make money, no matter how many beliefs you shift, right? But maybe there's a different way, right? But anyway, pinpoint the default belief, the cost, the truth, and I'll give you an example, right? This is mine, right? As an example, I need to post more organically and get lots of views to get clients. That was the default belief that I saw. Cost. They're spending lots of time and effort to get views, but still aren't making money. The truth. You need qualified viewers to monetize, so you don't optimize for virality, but niche views using my Creative Force system, right? Which is the last part of the reality matrix, which is all about strategy, okay? Now that's just one part of my brand, right? I can also talk about how all the gurus are focusing on strategy and not, reality shifting messages, but that's for another time, okay? So, quick examples of different niches. Fitness, right? If you're in the fitness space, fat loss is a step count problem, not a willpower problem, because NEAT, non-exercise activity, drives total expenditure more than workouts. Maybe you want to simplify this for your audience to understand easier, but right, fat loss is not a step count problem. That's like quite a solid, like bold claim, and here's why. Okay, career. If you're a career coach, portfolios outrank resumes because employees reduce risk with proof of work. Right? Maybe you can be a bit more creative with this, but that's an example. Okay, so now going on to the metrics to see if your belief shifts are even working, okay? So the percentage of comments repeating your language, right? I'll get into an example in a second. Inbound with your terms in the subject body. Win rates with tied to the specific method that you teach, or mentioned by peers disagreeing. Debate grows your belief shifts, okay? I'll give you an example. Like sometimes friends of mine have clients and they're like, oh, Jay's doing this belief shift thing. It looks so interesting, right? Or I get DMs saying, oh, that's so cool, right? Or I hop on a sales call and people are like, oh, this reality shifts thing looks so interesting. That is all proof. This is a DM I got the other day. This is proof that your message is resonating. If people overlook your message and don't really agree with it, maybe try come up with a new, stronger message, okay? I'll implement some of your teachings. See? So like that's examples of how you can do this, okay? Now, I'm going to go over the core belief shifts and also like a hell of a lot of value here as well on how you can have a really strong message with not only your core message, but just your branding and your hooks in general, okay? So, by the way, guys, if this is getting boring, good, because you're not going to be successful. If this is boring, but you're watching it anyway, you will be successful, okay? This is the boring stuff that you need to do, okay? Belief shift number 1, going from problems to symptoms, right? When you call out a problem like gaining body fat, lack of leads, people just scroll, right? Even if they do have the problem, they don't own it, right? If you're like, hey, are you fat? It's like, yeah, I'm fat, but fuck you. Like, I'm moving forward, right? Instead, describe the moment they can't ignore. Every time you walk in the kitchen, you overeat. That's not theory. That's their Tuesday afternoon. And that's what stops the scroll, okay? Belief shift number 2 goes from goals to priorities. If you always mention, oh, you want to get your dream body, oh, you want to quit your 9 to 5, oh, you want to travel the world, that's nice goals, but no one wakes up and is like, oh, today I'm getting my 6-pack. Like, it just doesn't work like that. What people care about more is the urgent next move they can take action on, right? So instead, talk about do this 5-minute workout before breakfast to hit your calorie goals. Speak to now, not someday, right? The same goes for my message. I can tell people, hit 20K a month all the time, but I'm like, no, like shift beliefs. That's what's going to get you there. And that's what people can take action on. That's what turns followers into send me the damn invoice buyers, right? Symptoms hit harder than labels, okay? So belief shift number 3, dreams sell the vision. Sorry, I'll mention it. Go from dreams to milestones, okay? Dreams sell the vision, but they can also lead to overwhelm, right? Just like I said, having 6-pack abs while on vacation, scaling without a team, marrying a dream spouse. Like, stop focusing on dreams, right? This is a bit different than goals, because goals is like the final end destination. Dreams is just like dreaming about specific outcomes, right? This feels too far away, right? So instead, talk about the first win on the path. Just a little micro win, right? Your first inbound DM from a dream client, dropping 2 pounds per week. Small wins feel possible, and if it feels possible, people will buy, okay? Awesome. Let's get into the last one, guys. Stop going like go from educational to belief shifts. I know it's a bit ironic because it's belief shift 4, but stop talking overly. You can do it sometimes, but don't overuse how-to posts or tutorials because it doesn't sell. People might save the post and might implement it, but they don't see you as someone that they're like missing information from and want to buy from, right? Say close rates are determined by authority built pre-call, right? Education teaches, but belief shift transforms their perspective. And that's what makes you the only choice, right? You can probably remember, this is important, guys, you can probably remember the first person within everything in your life that gave you a new insight because it's just very impactful. When someone changes your perspective on something, fundamentally, you always think of that person, right? The first person that introduced you to the gym, the first person you dated. All of these things are very like fundamentally in our brains, and the more room we take up in people's brains, the more times we impregnate someone with your ideas, the more room you take up in their mind, and the more you can warm them up and sell them, right? So that's going to be extremely powerful. So this is a bonus for you guys. This is like insane awesome stuff here. This is the 10 frameworks for capturing attention. So we got into core things that you should implement in your messaging. Now we're going to get into like things you can leverage in ads, things you can leverage in stories, things you can leverage in YouTube videos, stuff that actually captures attention, okay? I'm going to go through this, guys. Take some notes. If you want to DM me on Instagram for this, just say like, hey, Jay, I want the 10 frameworks for capturing attention. I'll send you an actual document of all of this, okay? Specific numbers. So if you mention specific numbers, it's going to capture attention. Like there's 7 billion people on this earth. You know, Apple's new $1,175 phone has this new feature. Metrics. I sent 322 cold emails, right? Lists. 7 bad habits that are preventing you, right? That's really awesome. Pattern interrupts, right? Pattern interrupts are in terms of visual, audio, and speech. Visual is like, you've probably noticed this, guys. I have to mention this because it's just so common nowadays. People do like head talking videos and they place it down on the floor first or on lean it against something and it jiggles and stuff and messes up the footage, but it's a pattern interrupt. People are like, what's happening here? And they place it down and then they start talking, right? Audio, right? If you swear in the first second, if you do something weird, that will get attention, right? Speech, obviously swearing and stuff but like audio, I mean like an effect or something like that, right? Negativity bias. This is super common. Instead of saying you are going to achieve great things, say you will never hit rock bottom again. Just switching things up, right? Call out the exact audience you want to speak to. If you're in your 20s, coaches, creators, freelancers, fathers are a gift to humankind, right? If you speak to the exact person you want to help, you will call them out. It's very common with ads. I don't recommend it for ads. I think there's better ways to go about it, sometimes smarter ways, but it's still very powerful. By the smarter ways, I mean problem call out, right? People have encountered very similar problems throughout their life. And if you can describe the feeling accurately, you have attention at your fingertips, okay? Let's get into number 6. Active voice. This is very common in the storytellers out there. It implies there's a story, right? So an example of active voice is the dog chased the ball, right? So you can say like, I woke up in shambles. You just get right into the story. And once I realized that I got an inbound DM from a client, my whole morning changed, whatever it might be, right? Confidence and conviction. Tools you can use to sound more confident, right? Instead of saying it may be wise that some invested in their skill set, just say it's crucial that everyone on the planet develops their skill set, okay? Potential benefit. Opposite of calling out a problem, right? Speak to aspirations. This is very important. This is a very good hack to speak to aspirations if you want to attract people that are more well off in life. If you always speak to problems, you might get people that have victim mentalities, that are really struggling, that can't afford your services. So sometimes speaking towards goals and aspirations is more powerful to get the right people that can afford your stuff, okay? Social proof. Obviously flex your credentials, but do it in a way where it's not viewed as a flex. And finally, number 10. Okay, my camera just turned off for a second, but warnings, right? What should people look out for when they're trying to achieve something, right? Can you warn them of something that they encounter, right? I also want to give you guys a little gift because you stuck around to the end of this video. If you DM me the word reality shifter on Instagram, I'm going to give you a custom ChatGPT bot that is going to allow you to not only make scripts based on these 10 frameworks of capturing attention, but also the 4 core belief shifts all in one bot. So you don't have to know this off by heart. You just have to put in the script of your ad, of your piece of content, and it will make it more persuasive using these 2 big frameworks here, okay? So now we've got the reality shifts done. I'm super happy that you guys made it to the end. I really, really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a ton if you're a personal brand and you want to scale with your high ticket coaching offer. So I will see you guys in the next episode. If you want to join my program, DM me the word join on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Stop posting more and start building a flywheel. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the month, you posted 30 reels, you did one every single day, and you feel accomplished that you made it, but still dread it because you have to do the same thing the next month without really knowing if you're going to make any more money, and ultimately it's burning you out. And you see other creators posting less, making way more money, and you think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? My content looks way better than theirs. I have way more student results. It looks so effortless for them. And I thought the exact same thing and struggled for years. But the answer is building a system that has a snowball effect and builds you more leverage over time. And that's exactly what we're going to build in this video if you watch everything to the end. So stay tuned. This is episode 4 of Creator TV. And let me just get out my trusty pen here for you guys to properly get this walk through. So in this video, you're going to learn exactly how to build the same system that my client Daniel did to close $14,000 in 2 weeks and just $500 in ads. So a 25x return on this system. And if you're new here, this is kind of the 3 episodes we did prior. We optimized our dream client. We built our vision assets to get extremely clear on what our branding looks like. We've got our message in check. And now the final part is getting our deal flow, right? Having a strategy that's going to get us constant leads every single day that we then can nurture and turn into perfect fit dream clients. So let's get right into things. So this is the system that we use to make this happen. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run a very stupid, simple ad that is very cheap and very cost effective that's going to build our audience with perfect fit dream followers on autopilot. Okay, this is basically going to build your audience, right? And what this means, just to be extremely clear with you guys, this means you don't have to be endlessly posting. You don't have to be posting every single day. I mean, it's ideal, but you're not relying on it. You're not basically relying yourself on an unpredictable method to get leads. You're relying on something predictable that's going to get you followers and leads every single day. And from there, you're going to nurture them with your content, with your email, with your YouTube, with your stories, etc. And of course, through that content, you're going to collect leads in form of a community. And by a community, I mean email list, okay? So you're going to build your email list as well. And then you've got 2 ways to kind of get your followers to make a buying decision. They can purchase a kind of lower ticket product, and that's when they become a customer, or they can directly become a client. For most of you guys, you can actually go directly to selling a high ticket product, but to make the conversion process easier, sometimes you can have lower ticket workshops, lower ticket kind of 30-day accelerator programs to get people to ascend to your higher ticket program. And that's going to be super, super crucial. So don't worry if this doesn't make sense now. We're going to go over every single step. But just so I give you guys a better understanding of why this method is superior versus other methods, is simply because of the low friction. What do I mean by low friction? When someone is a brand new person and they find your page, what is more likely to happen? That they go on a landing page, look at a video and book in a call, or to simply follow you? More likely a follow, right? So that's why we're going to have a super frictionless process where people basically do the same behaviors that they do on a daily basis anyway, right? People are following people all the time on Instagram. So when you're just saying, follow me, it's not salesy. It's just like, hey dude, follow me, right? So we're going to turn this random stranger into a follower. From that follower, we're going to turn that follower into a lead by, getting their email address or by getting them watching your long form YouTube. And from a lead, we can turn them into a customer, and then from a customer into a perfect fit client. And that is basically the key behind this whole system. I know you guys love my beautiful drawings. So this is, feel free to put this as your phone wall screen, wallpaper. I would do it myself because it just looks extremely beautiful. So I'll just make sure I Okay, you got it? Okay, screenshot it. Okay. So crafted ad, that's the first step that we want to dive into. So note, I'm going to make this very, very clear. I don't see a difference between organic and ads. For me, it's just content. It's the exact same thing. The only difference between organic and ads is that an ad never stops getting attention unless you stop the ad, right? That is the same thing as organic, except it gets constant attention. It never dies down, okay? So I see every piece of content like an ad, but it just stops getting views after some time. An ad is constant. You just have to make sure that the messaging is on point and you get the right people to see your profile. So what you want to do is you want to run Instagram profile visit ads. You want to optimize for the most amount of profile visits, people that are viewing your Instagram page. We don't want to optimize for anything else except this. On the ads manager, you can also select and create custom metrics to make sure you can see how many followers you're getting from it. But essentially, this is how you do it. So essentially, you just want eyeballs. You want eyeballs in your Instagram profile so people can see what you offer. And if you've got a well-optimized Instagram profile like I do, you can do this very, very well, okay? And it's going to get people interested in what you have to offer if you're hitting the right pain problems, etc. And this is a very simple script that you can do for the ad. And feel free to screenshot this. Feel free to take this for your own, ad. The main thing that I can add into here is between number 3 and 4, these both steps, you can put a mid-roll CTA. And I'll give you an example of what that looks like. It's basically follow me and go through my content to learn more, right? Because sometimes people don't watch the ad to the very end to hear the call to action. They just have a short attention span. So when you put it at the front of the ad, people are more likely to hear the call to action and take action on that, right? Who you serve, the pain, right? And a lot of people do who you serve. I really like to talk about pain problems, right? So what is the pain problem that they're struggling with? How they currently feel, what's the pain? Follow me if you want to learn how. This is exactly how I was able to do X, Y, and Z through my system. This is how it works. Point 1, point 2, point 3. This is different than this because of this reason. And this is exactly how you learn how to do X. If you want a full training on how this works, follow me and comment training and I'll send it over, right? So you want to get people to follow you and take a action in terms of a comment, right? Nowadays with ManyChat, there's also a feature where you can just off a follow start an automation, but it is very good to do a comment as well. It doesn't really matter too much. So now that you've got this whole ad system set up, and obviously there's so much nuance, guys. Like if I break down exactly for what niche, for what offer, how to run this exact ad, it can literally go on for hours. So I sadly don't have time to do that. But if you message me on Instagram about what your niche is, how to run the ad, I will give you tailored feedback. So just feel free to do that if you need some help. So number 2 is content. At this stage, you're getting consistent traffic. You're getting consistent profile visits on your page. And now you want to warm them up. And this is where the one system comes in. And the one system is a simple framework to get people from the ad, connect it to ManyChat, to get people in your email list, and to watch what I like to call your one VSL. Now, your one VSL, you'll see it in my Instagram bio. It's just a video that explains who you are, what your story is, what your problem you solve, how you do it, and that they can work with you, right? It's a very simple video hosted on YouTube that can give people a ton of value. And what this does is because it's hosted on YouTube, they don't see it as like a sales asset. We see it as a sales asset, but it's a very low barrier, low friction way to get people to be intrigued by what you do. And just to see how the ManyChat framework is in practice. Hey, thanks for the follow. This is mine specifically for when they follow me. They just click yes, send it over. I send over a little video. They say yes. Actually, no, this is the same thing as here, right? I send this message. They send me their email, and then I send them a landing page to work with me if they want that, or to watch the video directly. And the good thing is about having this landing page to get to work with you is it already can give them more information of what the next steps are if they do want to work with you. It just makes them a bit more aware of it, which is good. And that's how it looks like, okay? So this system builds you so much leverage, especially when it comes to building your community, which is your email list, right? I don't have a ton of emails, but I've only really done this system for 6 to 8 months, and I've collected 2,824 emails, which is a lot. At some point, I had a lot of emails coming through. Now I get roughly 100 to 80 emails every single month. Recently, I've got a strategy that gets me more emails. That's why you see a big fluctuation. But just so you can see the open rates, 19%, 31%, 27%, 19, 20, 20. It fluctuates. I think my average is 23% open rate, which is extremely powerful because out of these 2,800 people, 23% always opens it. They always see the value. They always see your YouTube videos that you promote. And this is extremely powerful because I could be just chilling on a Sunday morning and be like, oh, let me send an email to my list. And I get thousands of people potentially looking at my email and taking an action on it. And that's what builds you leverage. And that's what a lot of creators are missing. They're just posting short form content, building very, very surface level depth with their audience, and they don't know how to convert them. And this is why this is extremely powerful. And what I also have is as soon as they sign up to my email list, I have a 7-day welcome sequence that explains who I am, what I do, and why shifting beliefs is more powerful than having a crazy strategy, right? And then they get to learn about me and what I do. So this is extremely powerful. Like, I know I'm mentioning this again and again, but I think I've sent 72,000 emails over the past 90 days on autopilot. Like, do you know how powerful that is? Like, that's just completely on autopilot. And a lot of people aren't leveraging this. So, yeah, definitely do that. Conversations. This is the final part. Once you get followers on your Instagram profile, like we mentioned here, once you're getting these conversations, you need to start a conversation, see what their problem is, see what they're struggling with. So you can ultimately either make a sale in the DMs or hop on a call with them and make a sale, pitching your services as an online coach for high ticket, right? So what we leverage for these conversations is the one chat framework, which means recognize, compliment, question, and intent, or the RCQI method. Okay. And the way that this works, by the way, if you DM me the word one chat on Instagram, I've got a bot that can help you implement this a little bit faster. But what this means is when you get a message from someone, recognize what they said. Oh, I'm struggling with, losing 20 pounds of weight. Oh, I see that you're struggling with that. That's something that actually is quite common, especially in your age bracket. But honestly, it's great that you are, at least realizing that you have to make a change. Just a quick question, like, have you tried anything in particular that's going to help you solve that problem? I just want to see if there's anything that I can send over to help. Do you get how I just made that response? Is I recognized what she said, complimented her, gave her a question, and also gave the intent behind the question. Some people just give a question without an intent, and then people are like, okay, why is this person asking me? Like, is there a reason? It's like, yeah, because I want to send you some resources that can help you out. So there's that. And in terms of the framework or the mentality of how to go about conversations, is there's 5 different stages, right? There's stage 1, which is just like never going to buy with you. Or maybe they will over time, but they're just right now like not interested, not whatsoever. There's 2, which is cold. So people that haven't seen your content in a while or just really don't care right now. There's stage 3 where they're warming up. Maybe they're looking at your content, but not like masses amount of it. And then there's 4 where people are starting to look at your long form content. They see your emails. And then there's 5 where they have been long time or just extremely aligned with your vision, your goals, your method. And these are the 5 stage prospects. And we want to look at these people to entertain within the DMs, okay? Someone who has the future potential to become a perfect fit dream client and then turn into a case study. The 5th stage is willing to engage in dialogue, so they're very responsive, they're friendly and cooperative, they know what they want, they know when they want it, and they would like some help. This is the 5th stage people, right? And 3, 2, and 1 stage prospects do not want to be entertained, and they're not ready yet. These people, they might see your messages, but they might respond, or they might respond very vaguely or very abruptly. And these people are basically people we don't want to really entertain. We don't want to really waste our time on these people. We want them to see our content and to warm up slowly, but we're not going to waste our time, following up with these people because they're just not responsive. They're wasting our time, right? So what's the difference between the 4th and the 5th stage? The 5th stage are more ready. The 4th stage need more time to warm up to your brand, okay? So this is why chat openers, warm inbound. And by the way, like this is examples of what this fourth and fifth stage are. So these are chat openers, warm inbound, new followers, new commenters, new engagement, inbound DMs from content, call to actions, email replies, lead magnet downloaders, new community members if you have a community. Shortly said, anyone that shows interest in what you do, the hardest. Yeah, so this is kind of irrelevant. I probably should take this out. So anyone that's kind of showing interest, right? New followers, people that reach out for your lead magnets, people that are commenting in your polls, these are all fourth and fifth stage prospects, okay? Fifth stage is just a bit more ready, okay? Example openers of what you can do when you reach out to these people is like, hey, I appreciate the follow. You here for X or you here for X, right? Giving them a buy, like kind of a two paths they can go down. Are they just here for the content, or do they want to lose weight? Are you just here for the vibes, or do you want to improve your mindset, right? Just give them kind of a two-way street so they can either show that they're interested or just kind of disengage, right? You can also send a voice note. I love voice notes, guys. If you are trying to get clients and you don't leverage voice notes, you're missing out on a lot of leverage, because people can tell that you care. People can tell that you know what you're talking about. And when you send a voice message, you build a lot of trust. You build a lot of connection. So if you leverage voice notes, it's also extremely powerful. So honestly, guys, you have a lot of information here of how you can build this system and build leverage for your brand. But honestly, it's not really going to be as effective if you don't have data and tracking and systems to improve this over time. And this is why we have these two sheets right here. So the first sheet is basically a sheet where you can see the ad spend over every single month of the year. So the total revenue, the cash collected, the ad spend, you'll get automatically the return on ad spend for rev, for cash, how many followers you got, how many were qualified, how many book calls, etc. Right? So you can clearly look over a month's time span and be like, am I profitable? Am I not? If you don't have this, you're basically, just to put it lightly, like you're fucked. If you don't track your numbers every single day and get this overarching data over an entire month, you're not going to really know what to do, and you're going to make stupid decisions. You're going to make emotional decisions that aren't based in logic or rationality, and then you're going to end up just stopping the ads, which is the main thing that's driving revenue and traffic on your page. Another thing is tracking leads. Like, you'll be surprised. I'm so surprised how many people don't track their leads and see when they have to follow up, see what stage in the pipeline they're in. And I just use a very simple tracking sheet. When the date was found, the Instagram, the status is like, are they warm, cold, etc. Follow-up date of outreach, did they book, etc. So very simple. Nothing complicated, but this can get you to 20K a month by using both of these tracking sheets, okay? By the way, I've got another tracking sheet that shows you actually on a daily basis the metrics of the ads. This is just an overarching year's view, right? It's the master ads table. But yeah, guys, if you want these tracking sheets, I'll be honest, these are extremely powerful. I've got a lot of tracking metrics within this sheet. If you DM me on Instagram, hey Jay, I want the tracking sheet, I'll message you and give it to you. However, I'm really only going to give it to like a handful of people because this is a ton of value that I'm giving away for free. So if you're fast, if you're actionable on it, I'll send it over. Okay. So this was it for the 4-episode Creator TV series. And it was a blast. I really enjoyed it, guys. I just want to let you guys know that obviously you guys aren't stupid. You guys are smart individuals. I've got a coaching program that helps you implement all of this. Obviously, you're going to do a lot by yourself. However, if you do want that extra helping hand, if you don't want to spend as much time kind of learning all the mistakes that I had to go through, then feel free to DM me the word one on Instagram and I'll send you the details to book a one-on-one call with me, and I'll give you even a secret gift for taking action. So let me know. Just so you guys know, beginning of next year, I'm pretty much going to double my prices. So if you are interested and you want to get in, now's probably the time to hop on a call and we can kind of discuss what's the best fit for you. So let me know, guys. And other than that, comment in the description what you want to see next. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.